Welcome to r/AmITheJerk, where this woman wonders if she's in the right or the wrong after she's fired from being a bridesmaid. Before we get into this one, drop a like and subscribe if you're excited for this content. I don't normally ask you to do that, so if you haven't already done so, subscribe. Here we go. Am I the jerk for cancelling my best friend's bachelorette party after she fired me as a bridesmaid? I am a full-time student, so I'm currently living off student loans and what little hours I can work outside of school. I've spent around $1,000 on my best friend's wedding so far. That's $350 on the bridesmaid's dress, $350 on the flight home to attend the wedding as I'm away for school, and about $100 on the gift I sent her for her bridal shower. The maid of honor is currently very pregnant and having a rough time. She asked me to plan the bachelorette party. I agreed. I planned it perfectly and had it as a surprise. I messaged the other girls the plan. When they all agreed, I went ahead and booked my IDEA. I spent, this is on top of the $1,000 I spent earlier, $400 on a limo to go bar hopping. The bride loves bar hopping. And I booked us a $700 Airbnb to crash in afterwards. As of right now, the other bridesmaids haven't chipped in. This was out of pocket, but they said they would pay me back later. About a month later, me and two other girls got kicked from the bridal party group chat, along with a paragraph from the bride saying we were no longer invited because we weren't honoring her wishes. When asked, she didn't answer what she meant or what we'd done wrong. 2 days pass and she adds us back to the chat and apologizes, saying she's just stressed, we'll talk about it and made up. But yesterday, the same thing happened, except this time I'm the only one removed with a paragraph going off on me, telling me that I'm not respecting her or her wishes, that she wishes she never invited me or asked me to be a bridesmaid. When asked what happened or what I did wrong, again, radio silence. Today, she messages me apologizing, saying she's sorry for lashing out and that she'd like me there, but not as a bridesmaid, as it would make her uncomfortable, and that I'm not allowed to wear the dress I'd already bought as it's a bridesmaid's dress. I told her I respectfully declined, as I couldn't afford another dress, as I've already spent too much on this wedding, and that I didn't want to make her uncomfortable on her big day. She then lashes out again, telling me I should just take more from my student loans to buy a second dress. So, with that, I went and cancelled the Airbnb and the limo. I told the other bridesmaids what had happened and they agreed it was fair. One of them must have told the bride about the secret bachelorette party, as she messaged me telling me I'm a jerk and I've ruined her entire wedding, as she now doesn't have time to book a new bachelorette party in time, and she nor any of the other bridesmaids have the money or savings to book anything. I also managed to get a refund for my flight. So really, I'm only out about $450 for a wedding I'm no longer invited to. I mean, sure, but don't say only OP, that's still loads of money, what? So, am I the jerk for cancelling the party and getting the money back? The thing that I can't quite work out here, and from the context that we've been given, I would 100% say, OP, that you're not the jerk, is what is this bride actually after, right? Twice she said to you, you're not fulfilling my wishes, but it doesn't seem as if she's actually told you what those wishes are. And also, it's not as if you haven't tried to understand what's going on, like you've asked, but you haven't had any answers. It's a bit weird, to be honest, but all in all, no, you're definitely not the jerk for cancelling the party, getting your money back, etc. It's also a disgrace that you're still $450 out. I mean, that is so much money, as I said, but can't quite get over that you're like happy, or not happy, but content, I guess, at losing that, or saying, oh, it's only a $450 hit. That is so much. I'd be absolutely fuming. Overall, there's no way you're the jerk. Am I the jerk for telling my daughter, who is facing homelessness, that only her and the baby can move in with me, not her husband? The husband has lived in their apartment for a number of years. The owners recently sold it and the new ones are moving in, so my daughter and her husband have to move. The problem is that rents have gone up dramatically. The rent they're paying is $1,100 for a 1-bedroom, which I thought was a lot, but now that I'm trying to help them find a place, most are now going for around $2,000 a month or more. They can't afford this. My daughter knows she is always welcome at home. Granted, a baby complicates things. I wasn't happy about her having a baby. She's young, just turned 22, but I would never deny her housing. However, I can't stand her husband. Let's just call him Aaron for simplicity's sake. I wouldn't invite Aaron over for dinner, let alone let him live with me. Aaron is in his mid-30s, criminal history, hair trigger temper, chronically immature, and has one hell of a jealous or possessive streak that has caused strain in their relationship, which I obviously do not approve of. Honestly, when she told me she was pregnant, I finally thought we'd be rid of Aaron. I genuinely thought he's exactly the kind of man to ditch. They've been on and off over and over since she was about 18, 19. So that means that he would have been what? Well, early 30s when they met. Very, very weird. Alas, if anything, it made him cling to her tighter. They had a very rushed wedding, and this is their longest stint together without any breakups, just over a year. There's still been the fair share of dramatics, of course, but I'm surprised they've made it this far. Even so, I simply don't want to live with Aaron. I don't like him. I don't want him around me. I'd go above and beyond for my daughter and the baby. They can stay as long as they need, but not him. Obviously, this has created a rift between my daughter and I. She doesn't want to live separately from Aaron. I told her then that she needs to figure out alternative arrangements. Well, their move-out date is rapidly approaching, the 15th of December, and they've still not been able to find a place, and she's panicking. She's been begging me to let them stay. I reiterated my terms. Aaron simply cannot stay here. This led to a lot of tears and some angry words, namely, me being a jerk. I can genuinely see why she might think that, but I also have to think about myself and my own sanity. Okay, off the rip, all I can say here is that although it's a big shame that you don't like Aaron and you despise him this much, from everything you're saying, I can't help but agree with you. You know, it's your house. You're the one that's going to have to deal with living with Aaron. And yeah, you know, of course, as you said, you want to live with your daughter. You want to support her and her baby even. But having someone that you absolutely despise in your house, even though they are your daughter's husband, it's up to you. And yeah, it's a shame, but ultimately, if you don't want somebody in your house, I don't think you can call someone a jerk for not wanting that. From everything you've said here, again, it does seem like Aaron is a truly awful person as well, so I can't even blame you for thinking that, oh, could you not just, you know, deal with him for a little bit, just because he is your son-in-law? Is there not a way you could just manage him for a bit? Sounds like it's absolutely horrible, and if you do feel unsafe around somebody, then yeah, once again, no reason that he needs to be allowed into your house. I will say though, there is an update to this story which might provide us with a little bit more context, so without further ado, let's get into that. I do believe, OP says, because of my anger and frustration, I exaggerated Aaron's flaws in my post below. Has he struggled with his temper? Yes, but I should not have described it as hair trigger. I have never thought of him as dangerous. I've never feared for my daughter's safety, nor my own. Okay. I also described him as jealous/possessive, and while I do see some of those tendencies, he's never tried to restrict her movements or isolate her. She's always dealt with a tremendous amount of anxiety, particularly when it comes to social situations. As much as I loathe to admit it, in this regard, he's been a wonderful cheerleader. He could keep her at home where she feels most secure, but he truly does encourage her to get out and be adventurous. As for his criminal record, it's all below the age of 24. He's not been in trouble with the law since. Yes, it still makes me uncomfortable, but I can admit that he's been stable. In all the time I've known him, he's had no issues holding down a job, paying rent, etc. But what bothers me the most is the age gap. I mean, yeah, to be honest, this is exactly what I was thinking, and that's why I mentioned it while reading earlier. I can't explain that away or change it, OP continues. It is what it is. That makes me uncomfortable. With that said, people here keep saying that he's a predator or a groomer in the comments down below, but I just don't see that. I could very well be blind or naive. For now, however, I will defend him in this regard. Anyways, if posting here has shown me anything, it's that Aaron's not nearly as bad as I'd built him up in my mind. So many people here were imagining a monster. But he's just a guy. He means well. He's trying. He's still irritating, opinionated, immature, and talks too much, but he does try his darndest to take care of my daughter. He is a capable, present father and loves being one. They are married. He is family. Lots of people have stated that they are a unit. They come together or not at all, and I've started to agree. It's for that reason that I have decided to allow them all to stay with me while they figure things out. Okay. So, there we go. Yeah. That is more interesting now. Off the rip, having read just the initial post, I was thinking that there was no way you're the jerk. I still don't think you are the jerk here because now things have changed and you have decided to let them in your house, which I think is a nice thing to do. I think overall it's not really an am I the jerk sort of situation. It's just you understanding yourself. And I think this post has helped you, to be fair, to understand that, yeah, he's bad, you don't like him, but ultimately he is your daughter's husband. And can you deal with him for a little bit of time? Yes. I do agree though with some of the comments below from the initial post. As I was saying myself, the age gap is mental. It really, really is. And to me, it was sounding, to be honest, as if he was a little bit of a groomer. I mean, not illegally, but 18 to what, early 30s. That's just insane. That's way too much. There's a reason he's doing that. But if you're saying that you don't see that, then obviously you know a lot more than us on the internet. That's fair enough. So yeah, I think with this added context, I think you've made the right decision. You probably can just deal with them for a little bit of time, help them out until they sort themselves out. Overall, I don't think you're the jerk in any of this, and I do respect the fact that you've gone back on what you were saying and thinking, and actually, he's not a monster. He can stay for a little bit of time. And yeah, simple as that. You're not the jerk. Now for our third post. Am I the jerk for punishing my stepdaughter for a joke? My wife and I have been married for 10 years. We have a 9-year-old son together. My wife also has an adopted daughter who is 16. Now, it's not really her daughter, and she's not exactly adopted. Technically, it's my wife's niece. Her parents abandoned her and my wife took her in. She is the brattiest, rudest, most annoying child, but I try to tolerate her because it means a lot to my wife. Anyway, yesterday was my son's 9th birthday and we threw a small party, family only. My son insisted that we play a game in which we have to say what superpower we want to have, and he would tell us what weakness we would then have. When it was my turn, I told him that I want to be invisible, and he said, "You will be invisible, but your penis won't be." My stepdaughter then chimed in and said, "Good, you'll still be very hard to notice then." Well, that's just what Mum said, and burst out laughing. I grabbed her phone and laptop and told her she is grounded for 2 weeks and can't have her phone back for a month. My wife thinks I overreacted to a kid's joke and I'm a jerk, but she embarrassed me in front of everyone and I believe she deserves her punishment. Oh my goodness me. OP, I really hope you are watching because what I'm about to say might just destroy you. You are the biggest clown I think I've ever met on this platform. I use the word meet kind of lightly because I would absolutely hate to meet you. You sound like an absolute loser. This right here is an objectively funny joke. This girl just absolutely dominated you in front of your family. You have to be able to take that and move on from it. Any good man in that situation, any good person just laughs because it's very, very funny. And you just say, you know what? That is class from you. You might be a comic in the future. But no, you, because you're an adult and you want to abuse your power, for some reason, take away all her stuff. You shouldn't be confiscating her for making wonderful, wonderful jokes. Instead, you should be rewarding her and sending her off to comedic school, which is definitely a thing. Trust me, guys. As you can tell, I went to one. Now for our final post of this episode. Am I the jerk for expressing to my in-laws that I don't want to be their server for their family's Christmas dinner? So, I'm a newlywed, and my in-laws are rolling into town for Christmas and staying at my husband and my new house. They mentioned wanting to dine out for Christmas dinner, but I offered to whip up a home-cooked feast instead. Unfortunately, they turned down the offer. Now, here's where it gets interesting. I'm currently working as a server in our town after recently being laid off from my corporate job. Lucky for me, the restaurant is closed on Christmas Eve and Christmas. Well, turns out my mother-in-law had other plans. She called up my workplace without speaking to me beforehand and asked for me to be their server for their entire Christmas dinner. I found out through my husband that I'd be playing the role of their server for their festive family celebration, and my Christmas gifts would be a sweet tip and takeout from my restaurant. Seems a bit odd, especially since our restaurant isn't even open on Christmas Eve or Christmas, and I'd be available to spend time with them on those days. They're scheduling this dinner the day before we close and making it their designated family celebration. I politely declined because, let's be real, being excluded from Christmas dinner while working as their server, yeah, that's a hard pass from me. Unfortunately, I was told I was being dramatic, and there's nothing weird about me being their server for their family's Christmas dinner. Thoughts, anyone? Well, like post 2, there is actually an update to come on this one as well, but just off the bat, this is, again, extremely strange behavior. I would be running a mile. Of course I'd say no. Then I'd probably think, why is this family so weird? To be honest, a very weird thing was saying, no, we don't want you to cook for us at Christmas. Now, personally, I think that eating at home for Christmas is a lovely, lovely thing. You know, everyone can muck in, help out, get some great home cooked food. I'm saying that, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not normally the one that does the cooking. I help out, you know, let my dad do his thing. However, it is just nice to be at home rather than go out somewhere. I get it though, it's nice to go out and not have anyone have to do anything. It's lovely, it's more relaxing, I'm sure. But it's weird because you're offering your in-laws to do nothing as well. Like, you're saying, no, we'll do the cooking, I'll do the cooking, just eat the food. But they're like, no, we want to go out. And also, actually, no, we want you to be our waiter. Really, really weird. I don't know if they're just trying to like assert some weird dominance over you or something. But nonetheless, as I said, there is an update. Let's get into it. OP says, thank you, first of all, for the overwhelming support and for everyone who took the time to read and respond. She took the opportunity to establish clear boundaries during a FaceTime session, emphasizing that such behavior is not acceptable, particularly considering the racial and economic differences between us. Wow, well, we didn't know that. As a biracial woman from a lower class family, it was crucial for me to assert myself and not just dismiss their behavior. I might take some time to respond to messages as there's a lot to sift through. Thank you all for standing with me. You helped me so much. Thank you. That is actually amazing. Yeah, there are loads and loads of comments, literally thousands of comments down below saying, wow, you need to stand up for yourself. This is terrible. And to be honest, without these comments, because of the reasons that OP said, who knows? She may never have done that. So that's amazing. Now moving on to the second update. OP's mother-in-law was upset that I'd taken a stand against their Christmas plans. However, my husband stood by my side through it all, supporting the decision to uninvite everyone who supported this decision. We're now focusing on creating a Christmas atmosphere that's positive and stress-free, sans the drama. Your words truly gave me the strength to navigate this challenging situation. If anyone has any similar stories or more advice to share, I am all ears. Well, that is wonderful. There we go. If you have any comments down below about what OP should do further, whether you agree with this, or any similar stories, as OP says, get them in the comments. Have a look down below, guys, and I'll be going through as well and hearting my favorites. Wow. I'm just happy that Reddit has come to this girl's rescue. Well, I mean, I say that, I don't really mean that. I'm sure she would have been fine on her own, but having that support, having thousands of people literally tell you, no, you are in the right here, you need to stand up for yourself and do this thing, it's great. And it's clearly had a very, very good result. That's going to do it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.